It's time now for French Connections, our weekly look at the intricacies of life here in France with Florence Filomeno. Hi, Flo.
Hey, Monty.
Well, so this week we're going to focus on the month of May, which is quite particular here in France because, well, there's several reasons. A lot of them have to do with a bunch of public holidays.
That's right. May is a month of celebration in France. Now, in France, there are 11 public holidays throughout the year. And before you say that the French are lazy, this is actually the European average. Now, out of the 11 public holidays, a large number are in May, or tend to be in May. Let's take a look. First of all, you've got Labor Day, which is on May 1st. You've got Victory in Europe Day, which is on May 8th, celebrating the end of the Second World War in Europe. You've got Ascension Day, which is also known as Holy Thursday. This is 39 days after Easter Sunday, so it varies. This year it's on May 18th. And you've got Whit Monday, Pentecost Monday. This is 10 days after Ascension, so it tends to be in May as well. This year it's on May 28th. For a secular country, France certainly does celebrate a lot of Christian holidays.
Well, with so many public holidays in 1 month, how does anyone get any work done? That's what we want to know.
Well, it really depends on the year, Monty, and what day of the week these public holidays fall. If they fall on Saturdays or Sundays, well, it's just a bad vintage. But some years, like this year, it's the jackpot because, for instance, you've got May 1st and May 8th. Well, those are on Mondays, which means a 3-day weekend, Monty. And this leads to a very important concept in France. It's actually our word du jour, and it is the word pont, which is a bridge. Now, random word, right? But actually, in France, there's a whole concept around these bridges, building bridges. If a public holiday falls on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, well, you can do something called faire le pont, to create a bridge. So you take the days off between the public holiday and the weekend, and you create a long weekend. For instance, Ascension Day is on Thursday, May 18th this year. So if you take the Friday off, well, you get a 4-day weekend. And as you can imagine, French people love these ponts.
On essaye de profiter des ponts le plus possible si au niveau professionnel on y arrive.
On a profité de l'entreprise qui nous propose 2 jours de repos cumulés au pont. Donc voilà, ça nous fait une petite semaine.
So this is really great for workers, maybe not so great for business owners?
That's right, unless you work in the tourism industry, in which case the month of May can be a great month. But otherwise, many industries and business owners see their activity really slow down during the month of May, and this can have a negative impact on production, and it can also lead to some bad surprises for clients as well.
Beaucoup de gens qui sont absents. Tout simplement, il y a beaucoup de gens qui en profitent pour prendre des vacances, regrouper, rattacher les ponts, et donc c'est compliqué pour l'organisation des entreprises.
C'est embêtant, oui, parce que moi j'ai pris du temps aujourd'hui pour venir, et il va falloir que je revienne lundi, donc je me réorganise.
And so one of those public holidays you mentioned is the 1st of May, a day celebrated by several groups, starting with workers.
That's right. As in many other parts of the world, May Day, Labor Day, la Fête du Travail, it's an annual celebration in France. It's also a bellwether for social relations in the country. Traditionally, trade unions stage a nationwide demonstration to campaign for workers' rights. And interestingly, in recent years, the traditional May Day rally has been marked by divisions between trade unions, but it's very different this year. Trade unions are very much united, and they're fired up. They're fired up against President Emmanuel Macron and his decision to ram through Parliament, ram this very controversial pension reform through Parliament without a vote. And so we've already seen in recent weeks there have been dozens of demonstrations, and trade unions are hoping for a massive turnout on May 1st.
L'intersyndicale appelle pour la première fois depuis l'après-guerre l'ensemble des salariés à manifester le 1er mai pour un raz-de-marée populaire historique pour gagner le retrait de cette réforme.
Now, workers aren't the only one to mark the 1st of May in France. Traditionally, it's also a day of celebration for the far right, so the National Front that became the National Rally. Traditionally, the party has held a parade in central Paris, and it usually ends with a wreath-laying ceremony in front of this statue of Joan of Arc, Jeanne d'Arc, which is located near the Louvre.
Well, so May Day is traditionally a day for taking to the street, but also there's another tradition of giving people a sweet little flower.
That's right. It's May 1st first is symbolized by a sweet little flower. You can see it here, the lily of the valley. So this is known as Muge in French. It's a delicate bell-shaped flower that really smells so sweet, and it lasts only a moment, and it only grows a few days during the year. And these lucky little bells, these bells are lucky. Every 1st of May, French people treat their loved ones to a brin de muguet, so a little bouquet of muguet, to show their affection and bring them good luck, as you can see in this vintage footage.
Hello, would you like some beautiful flowers? That for the 1st May, it's a tradition in France.
Est-ce que ça porte bonheur le muguet?
Oui, mais ça revient cher là, non, hein? Le bonheur est bien cher.
Yeah, you see these flowers being sold everywhere outside the metro stations. So each year, 60 million sprigs are sold here in France, about one per French person. Where does this tradition come from?
So legend has it that the tradition is over 500 years old. Apparently, it dates back to the Renaissance, all the way back to the 1st of May, 1560, when King Charles IX of France received a lily of the valley as a good luck charm, and he decided to offer the sweet little flower to all the ladies of the royal court. So it's lived on ever since. And if you're familiar with living in France, you'll be very familiar with these little stalls that are lined up everywhere, because it's actually one of the rare moments when anybody can sell these flowers in the street. The government lets anyone sell them. It'll cost you anywhere between €1 and €50, depending on the quality and the quantity of muguet you get. And I must admit, it's one of my favorite traditions in France. It's a sweet little gift to tell people you care for them and that warmer days are just around the corner.
I agree. It's a great one. Thanks so much, Flo. If you have any questions about France you'd like to explore in French Connections, feel free to tweet Flo at Flo Villemino. You can also check out our website, france24.com.